Good morning, millennials, and welcome back to the Tourist.
It's herstory at the Toast.
In Toast Toastery. Sorry about that. Welcome back to the Toast. Happy Thursday. Hope everybody's having a great day.
I hope so too, though I do feel like today feels like an episode of the Toast. Toast.
I'm down if you are. Like, are you down to clown?
I'm down for Toast.
She's down to clown.
We can make our own rules if it's Toast.
That's kind of like, and I'm going to take what you said and have a serious conversation. Do you ever have that feeling? Maybe like not so much for you anymore, but like every now and then I remember like I'm not a child. Like I could seriously like go walk outside naked. Like I just remember that I'm an adult and like the rules are what I make them. I could just do whatever. Like I could go to Cancun right now.
You could go to Cancun. As far as walking outside naked, it does depend where you are. Like if
that's
you're
like
on
rules
your,
of civility.
If you're
That's
on your own
different.
private property, you can, but like you cannot be nude in the public.
Okay, that's like not what I was saying. I meant more like
There are still laws, and you're still
I'm
a
not in
law-abiding
school.
citizen.
I'm not in school.
Yes,
I don't have to listen to my parents.
You could
like
stay up all night and eat ice cream all night if you wanted to.
No, that's not even really. No, I'm more so like, I don't know. Do you ever like look around your house and just you're like, this is my house, bitch. Like I make the fucking rules.
Not in that sense.
I do. I'm always like, and like this is my house.
What rules are you looking to make in your
Any
house?
kind. Maybe it's because, as a child, I really was like, I opposed authority. I was really not into like rules and stuff. Every now and then I look around. I'm like, yeah, bitch, this is my house, my apartment. I make the rules. I'm in charge. I'm the adult. I'm the authority. Like I used to hate,
What rules do you want to make in your house?
There's just something powerful about like looking back, acknowledging the space you're in and then looking forward,
Where are you looking towards?
The future, the rules that I make, the authority that I am.
I'm just trying to get at like, what kind of rules do you want to make?
You're looking at it very literally. And I think it's due to your lack of imagination. I think people, the creative people and the people, who listening will understand what I'm saying. You're thinking about it too literally, not physical rules, like just life, like rules, like I'm in charge.
Okay.
What are you in charge of? It's so hard to host a podcast with somebody who lacks such imagination.
It's so
I'm
hard
in charge
to
of
host a podcast with somebody.
You're really not understanding at all what I'm saying.
No, I understand the concept, but now let's take it like practically.
No, you're looking at it too literally. Like I'm not talking about like actual rules. I'm not going to sit down and like write a list of rules. It's like the rules of life, like things I'm allowed to do, things I want to do, things I couldn't do as a kid. Are you okay?
What do you want to do?
Whatever I feel like that day, because I'm in charge and I make the rules.
Okay, so it's Kamala.
Oh my God, no.
It's abstract.
Okay, so when you don't understand something, it's Kamala. Okay, sure. That's fine. She doesn't get it. But if you get it, sound off in the comments, Like, are you in charge of your own life? Like, do you look around and you say, like, this is my house, bitch. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can paint the walls red.
Thank you. So practically, there's a practical.
Sure. I understand. You need more help understanding. Like you have like a learning disability.
Oh my gosh! I just want examples. It's called a conversation.
No. If you understood what I meant, you wouldn't need an example. So you didn't understand it. That's okay.
I didn't say much.
She likes imagination. It's
didn't
okay.
Say much.
All that to say, happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed your week thus far. We had such a fabulous day yesterday, and we topped it off with the last 2 episodes of Love is Blind UK, which has really been carrying us through the second half of Swirly Summer. After the toast, we just kind of, perfect example, threw caution to the wind. We were like, we're in charge of our own life. What if we just went for lunch and shopped in the middle of the day and had a cocktail, And we did just that, and it was amazing. We got such fabulous items. We shopped till we dropped.
We really shopped till we dropped, which is, there's only one way to shop. You have to like be all in, willing to like take off your clothes. You can't just be like, oh, I like looking around, poking. Like you have to dig in.
I know, it's so true. Like if you want to
have
effective shopping day,
you have to get naked in the dressing room.
You have to come home like seriously wanting to die.
Yeah.
Like so dead, so depleted.
Like my Oura ring was that a workout at 5:18 p.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Just me in the dressing room huffing and puffing.
Cynthia Rowley.
Yeah.
We crushed it.
My
God.
top today is from Cynthia Rowley. We got so many cute things. We hadn't been to that store this summer, but just everything was cuter than the next. I don't think we've had a more successful shopping jaunt.
We went thrifting.
Ever. We did go thrifting.
We Claudia, are so granola.
Claudia went to we all went to a consignment shop.
I didn't
Claudia
know it was a consignment
major
store.
Success.
Yeah. I was feeling like a little, I don't know, there's something like, how do you know? I was feeling like a little anxious when we left the store. I was like, did I just spend money on shoes that like, did I just get scammed?
Yeah. On Old Maiden shoes?
Yeah, an Old Maiden type of shoes. And the jury's still out. They came with the box and the dust bag. Like, I don't know.
I don't think she got scammed. And even if she did, like say I think they look great. They feel great. They look top quality fabric. And I think that you as a woman can pass them off as authentic. It doesn't even matter at this point.
I don't even care about passing them off. Like, I'm like a fiscally conscious queen. Like, did I just spend money on fake shoes?
No, but like, do you love the shoes? Do you like the quality? Are they worth that? Because take out the designer. Like, you could get a nice
That's
pair.
what you're paying for.
But at a certain point, no, you're paying because you love the shoe. It's a nice pair of leather shoes. That costs a pretty penny.
We'll see.
I don't think she got swindled. I think she actually like made off like a bandit with her gargy-pargy shoes.
Okay.
And I'm happy for her.
Me too. No, we really crushed it. Like, new wardrobe, fall wardrobe, check.
Yeah. We went to Love Shack Fancy, which has been one of our favorite stores all summer. We just pop in and out, and they had it's just the cutest vibe.
Can I say something honest?
I guess. Not that I would ever stop you.
I had an amazing time yesterday. Like, I really did. But I don't know if this like doesn't make me woman enough, but like, I hate shopping, like physically in stores. If you're really shopping, like we said, like looking for clothes that fit, not just like, I need one dress for the party tonight. Like,
no, but also one
even
dress
that,
for the party night is hard.
But I mean, like,
maybe
like back
harder.
to school shopping.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like haul.
Between the physical elements, like being sweaty in this like dressing room, and then also the emotional elements, like, you know, your size not fitting, it's like kind of traumatizing. There are so many elements. And then the walking around, my legs were killing me. Like, shopping gets like a good rap, you know, it like looks fabulous. Shopping is horrible.
I actually love shopping. I love everything about shopping until like the last 10% of finishing up in the dressing room, putting things back on hangers, you know, waiting to go pay. Like that, it gets unfun. But like the act of like perusing, oh, I love this for you. I love this for me.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is a Gudgy Parch. I absolutely love it. And if anybody ever wants to go shopping, like, just call me.
I'm glad you brought up putting things back on hangers, because we had a conversation on the Toast a couple of weeks ago about the shopping cart theory, right? How there was, you know, this theory going around that, you know, you can really tell the type of person someone is based on what they do with their shopping cart at the grocery store when no one's watching.
Yeah.
And we were saying that we feel like that's kind of a flawed theory. Like, you never know what's going on in someone's life, especially they have kids in the car. Like, there's a million.
It's a flawed theory. It's so reductive, and it allows people who are bad people to put their shopping cart away and say, I'm a good person.
Yeah. And you're never really alone, right? Because you're in the public, you're in a parking lot where people can see you. So you know that people might be watching, and that's a part of the theory too. But in a dressing room, you are well and truly private. And I think a better theory would be hangers.
Do you hang up your stuff?
I do. And I can't lie, like, do I hang it up perfectly? No.
No, I hang on my stuff. It's not gargy-pargy.
It's not.
It might not be on the hanger that it came on.
Oh, no.
You know,
not.
but
Yeah.
like the shorts will be on the short. Like, it's not like so much of a mishap, but it's not gargy-pargy. Someone will probably have to fix it, but like, no, I didn't leave it all on the floor.
I think that's a better theory, because really no one's watching
And it requires more of you.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it requires like critical thinking at times, you know, somehow you always end up with less hangers than clothing, you know, makes no fucking sense.
Even in your own closet.
Even in your own closet. So I just, you know, take that shopping cart theory. I'm calling it dressing room theory.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm coming up. That's like, if you
want to be a successful influencer, you have to have a theory.
You have to have like words and shit. Like,
no, you have to have your own theory.
Yeah, it's so true. Tink says box theory.
Yes.
What do we have?
Well, now we have like gargy-pargy theory.
We have the gargy-pargy theory, which is obviously, you know, world renowned. But now we have the dressing room theory.
But it's also scary to have a theory, because like, what if it's...
That's how Pythagorean felt.
What if it's like flawed, you know, when people are constantly poking at your theory, like, oh, or even with Tinks and box, like, I met my man outside the box, Tinks, like...
Right. And it's like anything that disproves your theory. There are no universal theories except for
like
Pythagorean.
E equals MC squared.
Yeah, like, except for the mathematical ones. But like, there are no universal emotional theories,
yeah,
right?
and people are just always coming for your theory.
It's so fucking true. Look at us coming for the shopping cart theory like weeks later. No, it must be really scary to have a theory.
I think it takes a lot of hubris to come up with a theory and like then really force it on people. So I also feel like...
kind of like what I was doing at the beginning of the show. Me having hubris with my theory.
You having hubris with your...
Thank you for proving my point, yeah. I have hubris. What does hubris mean?
Like, it's
false?
Braggadociousness, false confidence, like it's very...
Hubris means false confidence?
It's like...
Oh, I thought it meant like courage.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm always using it like a good thing.
Hubris, excessive pride or self-confidence.
Oh, okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean based on false, like...
Right, you could be Albert Einstein. I would hope he would have a lot of hubris.
Of course, but then there are some bad faith actors with their hubris.
Yes, and
Yeah, of
most
course.
people who have hubris like don't have the stuff to back it up.
Right. No, and
That's
it's like
the
if you actually possessed.
you don't have to try so hard and
So
like
true.
you
So
know,
Albert Einstein probably didn't have hubris.
he probably did not.
I don't know. I feel like maybe actually he did, but yeah.
And if he did, like, go off, King, you did that stuff.
Things you did. That. Yeah.
As you should. Whether he did or he didn't, like, it doesn't change things for me.
Yeah, because I saw Oppenheimer and they had a character of Einstein and they like, I guess it's like known in like the science world. He was like kind of a dick.
Was it giving hubris?
Kind of. Yeah. He like did the thing and then he became like, he's like a bad husband and stuff. Like,
You know who's like the most hubris? Hubris man.
Huberman.
Huberman.
So true. I actually don't think we have hubris.
I don't think so either. That's why we don't have theories.
We're like, what's the opposite? We have like crippling self-doubt. Like, what's that?
Chip. We don't have hubris.
We have chip. We don't have hubris. We have chip. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's just
a little bit about us.
So we'll work on shopping room theory.
It's kind of
room
it's a
theory.
theory in flux. Like it's constantly
In
being
transition?
Yeah, in transition. It's constantly being worked on. It's not a fully fleshed out theory yet. We're not ready for publishing.
No, that's the thing. Are you ever ready?
Yeah.
You're constantly going to be poking at theory.
But I kind of love that. Yeah, let's work on like having theories. Oh yeah, those girls from the Toast, that's their theory.
Yeah.
I feel like we have theories about like what's going on in Taylor Swift's life, like
That's true. They do think we have theories about things such as that.
like pop culture, but I meant
but I
more
do
like
think
lifestyle.
like packaging things as a theory is like a great way
Branding.
to make waves online.
We need to definitely work on our lifestyle theories.
Okay. Any other theories that you want to share? Anything you've been thinking?
No, not right now. And I don't want to force it. Like, when they're ready, they will come.
Okay.
Build it and they will come.
Should I start a list of potential theories just to keep us
1,000%.
inspired?
Just to keep us organized.
Yeah. And the first one, of course, will be dressing room theory.
Yeah. And we're going to be like in 6 months. What were we saying about dressing room? Put in parentheses versus
date.
shopping
Claudia,
cart.
I'm writing the date.
Oh, that's so smart. We're going to start dating our theories. That's so Einstein of us. And then put in parentheses versus shopping cart theory so we can remember.
Dressing room theory. Okay. I'm cracking up. If someone saw this, like it would make no sense to them.
It's kind of a time capsule. We should bury your phone in the ground and come back in 50 years and see if we can remember one thing. You know what we will remember? Tarek's arm tyke.
Yeah.
Some things are eternal.
Of course, I think history will remember that and not kindly.
Not because history is written by the victors, Christina Hall.
And history is written by Christina Hall.
History is written by us.
That's true.
Can I ask you a question? We have a lot to tackle today. The Fast Five, Love is Blind UK. How are we thinking about structuring? This is probably something we should have discussed before, but
Fast Five, then Love is Blind UK.
okay. So it's
Like
going to be
it'll
hard
be
for
like
me.
a little sweet treat at the end of the show. And that way, like we don't have to worry about
Spoilers.
spoilers and we can just, organize things. So if you're ever coming back for the recap, we're very excited.
We are. I just want to say, I don't know if there's a time in any Love is Blind history where I've been so happy with the outcome for every single couple.
Yeah.
Like I think it was the right decision.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like so shocked that people did or didn't.
I agree with that.
And we were also talking about last night how, with the exception of one random season of Love is Blind really has a very low divorce rate.
Yeah.
There were two couples who got divorced from the same season. Like, I just think that was a cursed season.
It was also a terrible season.
One of the worst that I've ever had the displeasure of watching for sure. Nick and Danielle and then Jared and Ayana, they both ended up getting divorced quickly after. But besides that, I don't like to include them in my theory here because I think that the question they always ask, Nick and Vanessa, like seriously, like shove it down our throats, and we never actually
Is
answer.
Love Blind?
Right. And they just like use it at this point, like for marketing. They really annoy me when they say it. But now with the Love is Blind UK, I'm like, is Love Blind? Like it can be.
It can be, but I don't think that like it's objectively blind. I think there are a lot of factors, not even looks, that people then see in their partner when they're together, even the way that they speak. Like someone could like speak in a way that really fucking bothers you. Like what if they get saliva in their corners?
Or like, yeah.
Yeah, or just like mannerisms or the way that they sit, the way that they carry themselves. It's not just about like attractiveness. There are so many things that go into someone's like physical being. So I don't think Love is blind, but it can be blind when you also happen to like what the person looks like.
Yeah, no, and I think that like if you do end up doing the experiment all the way through, like I think the marriages that we got and that we have just in the Love is Blind history, like are very good marriages.
Yeah.
So we'll do like a full recap.
And they're all really marriages where the people on levels of attractiveness were pleased with their partner. It's not like any two people who were so dissimilar, like still their love from the pods carried them through.
That's the thing with Love is Blind that I think is just, and I think it's because like it would be really messy, but if they had people like seriously some like supermodels and then some of the ugliest people you've ever seen, like not to be mean, it would make it more
Yeah, but it also is kind of like the show Catfish, because if you fell in love with a person online, even though you thought they looked like one thing, they looked like something else, but like that connection and those conversations that you had are still the same. Like, shouldn't you then still love whatever they are?
Correct. Should.
Aside from
the
fact
deception.
That they're a liar.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, but like if you can forgive the lie, is the love still there?
To me, if I got catfished, I wouldn't so much be focused on the lie. I would be focused on like, how weird are you? Like, that's what you do. You like lie, like you like cosplay on the internet. I'd be like, our interests just don't align because you're obviously a freak. Like I maybe I could get past the deception. I couldn't get past like the personality of a person who would seriously like catfish someone. Like, you're obviously an absolute loser.
Well, maybe they're insecure.
Well, that's unattractive to me.
Okay, and you don't want to love them through it?
No.
You don't want to make them stronger and show them that they're worthy?
I think that I can love past a lot of things, honestly. Like, I do. I like to think that I'm like a magnanimous person in that sense. But seriously, like, being a loser it's not fixable.
It's okay.
Like, it's
incurable.
It's at your core. Like,
you're
loserdom.
To the core.
Exactly.
Okay. So Love is Blind really is a lot like Catfish, just with a different spin.
You know, Love is Blind is Catfish with better PR.
Yeah.
Because they're all lying. You can even hear it in some like the way people talk, like especially the women. They're just like, and then they get to that. Like,
isn't that just girlhood?
Yeah, like on dates. I guess it's so true. We're all catfishing. We're on a date. We're like, yeah, I'm not crazy.
We don't show up to the date like, do your dish.
And then
Did you leave that fork?
And then you come to live with me, and I'm literally like a pit bull, like.
But it's so funny because when you're watching a season of Love is Blind and you're on like episode 10 and we know everyone 360 at that point, and then you go back to like the pod scenes and you're like, who's that girl?
Yeah, very demure, very mindful.
Yeah. So now I guess without further ado, since we're desperate to get to the Love is Blind recap, and we have thoroughly recapped all the time in which you did not see us.
Yeah.
It is now time for the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you by Peloton. Your run, your way, all on your terms. So this summer with Peloton, you can define what it means to be a runner. I feel like I definitely took the phrase runner and the label runner and just really made it my own, because we all know I'm like not a runner. But Peloton Tread, the Peloton app, were a huge part of my running journey, especially in the beginning. I think getting into running can be really intimidating, like in person, and Peloton has so many different programs to help you through it and really just make it very user-friendly and very accessible. So summer is for you and how you choose to move. The best time to show up as you are in workouts for your life on the go and make the most of sunny days with outdoor runs, walks, hikes, strength classes, and more. So Peloton has a range of class types, from their pop runs, which has amazing music, to their walk and talks. You can define what it means to be a runner. Whatever your level, embrace it. The journey starts when you say so. And that's what I loved about Peloton, is that when I wanted to start running, I really didn't know where to start. You can't just like start running, especially if you're like not in shape like I was. And I love that they had these half walking, half running, half hiking, like really great classes that had great music, like great entertainment. But it was like a couple of minutes of running and then a couple of minutes of walking, because I was really worried about how I would like keep my stamina up. And I didn't realize, like, if you want to get into running, like, you have to start walking first. And I just really love Peloton in that part of my journey. And I still, to this day, there's a Peloton tread in this house. I love it. I don't have one at home. I use the app. They have everything you need for on-the-go summer workouts. So call yourself a runner with Peloton at onepeloton.com/running. That's onepeloton.com/running. Today's episode is also brought to you by Rhoback. The best way to describe Rhoback is the best fit and the best feel. They recently launched a new women's line, and comfortable would be an understatement. You guys know we've talked about Rhoback for a really long time. Their active dresses, their crew necks, their jogger sets, and now they have a new women's line. It's like being comfortable while still looking cute when out and about during the day. So let us tell you about their active dress, which is our absolute favorite. It's made with their signature GTG technology, which allows you to keep your dress on when you're on the go and when you've got to go. The fabric is lightweight, it's breathable, and it's really comfortable, super cute and functional at the same time. Hate when you have to sacrifice one for the other. Rhoback totally gets that you don't. You all know that I also recently ran and trained for my first 5K. I was very particular about what I wear for my runs. And they have new Sunrise Active shorts and Hit Tech Tank. They are perfect for summer workouts. If you work out and you're like a big sweater, you understand like how you can't just like wear anything, you know, especially if you're prone to like chafing. You have to be very specific. And Rhoback has great items. They also have an active skirt and dress, perfect for pickleball this summer. So their crew necks, which we've been talking about for a really long time, and their tempo hoodies are super soft. They pair well with shorts, skirts, even the dress. So if you haven't already, it's now time to try out some Roback. Use code TOAST at Roback.com for a generous 20% off your first order through the end of this week. That's Roback, RHOBACK.com. And that's 20% off all hoodies, joggers, crews, and more, but only when you use code TOAST at checkout. Stay comfortable this spring with Roback, Roback.com. Our code is code TOAST, TOAST. Today's episode is also brought to you by Cotton, the fabric of our lives. The fabric of now is Cotton's new campaign, tapping into the overwhelming lives that we all lead. Cotton wants us to take a step back from the chaos and find presence in the moment. So we all live our lives plugged in, and while we're so focused on capturing the moment, sometimes we aren't living in the moment. So Cotton wants us to help our listeners take a pause, of course, after you finish this episode. And that looks different for everyone, right? So some people take a pause by going on an afternoon run in the park. Some people wouldn't find that very peaceful. Others go golfing with their husbands. Other people wouldn't find that peaceful. It's very personal, you know? So some people just unplug, make sourdough for their family, go shopping with friends. Whatever unplugging looks like for you, press pause with Cotton, the natural choice. And you can do these things while also wearing cotton. Cotton is natural and it comes from the earth, and because it's natural, it does not contribute to microplastic pollution. Cotton is versatile, it's long-lasting and timeless. It effortlessly stays at the center of trends while also being gentle on the skin. Cotton is super comfortable, it's breathable, it's easy to clean, so it gives you permission to be authentically you. We wear cotton while we work, while we play, and while we unplug. So take a second to pause with Cotton, the natural choice. Discover the fabric of now at thefabricofourlives.com. Thank you, Cotton, for sponsoring today's episode.
Thank you, Claudia.
You're welcome.
Our first story, a little Taylor Swift news, because she performed at Wembley Stadium and she addressed the foiled terrorist attack targeting her Eras Tour shows in Vienna. So she posted on Instagram Wednesday saying, having our Vienna shows canceled was devastating. The reason for the cancellations filled me with a new sense of fear and a tremendous amount of guilt because so many people had planned on coming to those shows. But I was also so grateful to the authorities because thanks to them, we were grieving concerts and not lives. She also explained why she decided to stay silent immediately following the incident. She said, quote, "Let me be very clear. I'm not going to speak about something publicly if I think doing so might provoke those who would want to harm the fans who come to my shows. In cases like this one, silence is actually showing restraint and waiting to express yourself at a time when it's right to. My priority was finishing our European tour safely, and it is with great relief that I can say that we did that." She added that her team worked hand in hand with British authorities and stadium staff to achieve that goal at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, facts on facts on facts, right. On all elements, whether it was, you know, people criticizing her for not saying anything and then going into London without, I didn't even really think about, like, she's still very much in Europe. There are still, you know, people like that. And I think her statement was perfect. I also think, you know, very poignant, saying like so grateful. And it gives a lot of perspective to be mourning shows, canceled shows, and not lives lost. And I think that's something we were saying earlier in the week. And I think that like something the culture, like it's an important statement to say. Like nobody wants to cancel shows. And obviously like that sucks on a very basic level, but we're not talking about that here. We're talking about a lot more serious things. So I thought this was beautifully put. I'm glad that she explained it, because even I'm someone who totally understood why she didn't say anything. And if she never said anything, I'd be okay with it. Like the fear, the guilt, the dread, like I can only imagine. I would never expect someone to say that. But I do appreciate this insight as to why she's going to say something now. And I didn't even really think about London as being this issue for her. So I totally get it. Thanks. I didn't need an explanation. Yeah. Queen, gonna do queen shit.
But hopefully for the people who were upset about her not speaking and thought it meant
she hated people in Vienna.
Right. Hopefully you are satiated. Probably not, though. But also, Chris Martin was in Vienna performing at the stadium that she was set to perform at, and he did a cover of Love Story
with Maggie Rogers.
With Maggie Rogers to, you know, sort of pay homage to the shows that were canceled. So he said, if this is not good, please don't put it on YouTube because I don't want to get in trouble with Taylor. And he proceeded to play Love Story with Maggie Rogers. For the Swifties who might have been in attendance.
Can I say that I love this?
Like really beautiful.
Yeah, I literally am going to cry. It's so sweet. I think that a lot of times celebrities try to like do stuff and it just comes off like, okay.
Yeah.
This
like
to me,
less.
yeah, right. This to me is so sweet.
Yeah.
To like, you know, this is obviously a huge moment for Chris Martin too, this big stadium. And he like took a moment to like talk about Taylor. Anytime a celebrity, I feel like it happens more now, but every now and then like people will be like hating Taylor is like makes you cool and indie. I I just love this. Like, and I thought the rendition was beautiful. I was jamming. I loved all parts of this. Like, I thought it was actually really sweet. And like, this is how you support someone. Like, this is how it was just, I loved it. Like, I have nothing negative to say, which is just new for me.
Me neither. And now, like Chris Martin, we've been talking about him so much this week. And I also feel like probably has nothing to do with this, but I feel like him choosing to sing Love Story is like, you know, just confirming like, I love Dakota Johnson.
Okay, I love where your head is at.
I'm just trying to put like the two pieces together and put a nice bow on the week of Chris Martin.
For sure. However, I think he probably didn't have like a lot of time to learn a new Taylor Swift song. That might be the one he knew the most words to. You know, he has daughters.
I just want to say, whatever Taylor Swift song he sang, I would have said it was about. It was for Dakota. Like,
but she does write a lot of songs.
You belong with me.
About love.
Dakota belongs with him.
Yeah. I also think like from a marketing perspective, like when you think about the Coldplay fans and the Taylor Swift fans, they're really not like
the Venn
very
diagram,
similar.
The circle, the middle is small.
The middle is small. So when he wanted to sing a song that, you know, people in the audience probably knew, you're going to go for the biggest Taylor Swift song. And so there's Love Story. There. What do you think is the biggest? Shake It Off? Like,
I've thought about this a lot.
Like numbers wise, maybe it's Blank
has,
Space.
Huge albums, but when it comes to like her most iconic songs, it's different because I feel like what the fans would say versus what mainstream, like global, at a glance, Big Bang Theory
I'm
would say.
global at a glance.
Yeah, so it's like Love Story, Shake It Off, Blank Space, Style.
Yeah, 22.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah,
But
I know.
like I Knew You Were Trouble.
Yeah.
I guess because in the subsequent eras, like the rollout has been less commercial and more, you know,
The whole album.
for the fans and like drops and like folklore, like, you know, if you're not paying attention, you might have missed stuff. And so, yes, the biggest songs that were played on the radio incessantly when she was doing that sort of stuff are not like the fans' most favorite songs.
Right. And that's just actually, now that you're like putting it out like that, I think that the reason why so many people's favorite era is 1989, and it was for so long, because now that I'm thinking about it, when we were just talking about like the singles off of Red, right? We Are Never Getting Back Together, 22, to me are some of the worst songs on the album, and they're the ones that had the biggest mainstream success. Like, it never made sense to me, and that happens a lot with her albums. She'll release a song that goes to radio, is like the most like corny kind of pop, and that's, if you don't listen to the album, you think that that's what Taylor Swift does, and it's like not at all what she does. And 1989, like the biggest hits, like what you just said, Style and Blank Space, like those are two of seriously the best songs ever made.
Yeah.
And they're the biggest songs on the album. And that never happens with Taylor. Like her best songs are like the least streamed from the album.
Shake It Off, even though I'm having a renaissance, follows that like the 22 trope of like one of the worst songs being the biggest hit. That was the first single on 1989.
Yeah. But at the time, like it was a cultural reset. It was a cultural reset.
Yeah.
I Knew You Were Trouble.
I don't like that.
It comes in waves for me.
Just compared to how much I love everything else.
Yeah. The deeper cuts. We're not like other fans.
No, I think all the fans really feel this way.
Yeah, yeah.
The real fans.
Yeah, but I think it speaks to like how Taylor, up until a certain point, you're right, now she just like gives albums. She doesn't really do like the single, like, but for so long she did like the music industry the OG radio way. And she was making hits for radio and was, you know, releasing a single, and then the album. Now I think she's much more comfortable dropping like a full piece of work and letting people.
And now I guess thinking about the singles she dropped from like Midnights or whatever, I guess they were pretty pervasive. Antihero. Karma, Bejeweled, like not my favorites.
Oh.
So I kind of ignored them. They're like my skips on the album. I don't listen to those songs, so I can't say that they're everywhere, but they might be.
I think Karma and Bejeweled are everywhere, and I don't think that they're skips. I do think Antihero got like the radio pop treatment, and then you like start to just get over it naturally.
Like Cardigan.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. That's what I'm saying. Like she always chooses to me, the not obvious choice to make her singles. And that was so crazy about Cruel Summer, right? Like Cruel Summer was not a single from Lover. It was just a song kind of at the end of the album. And I don't think she ever planned to make it
You Need to Calm Down.
Right. Those are two songs from the same album. To me, it never made sense, but it was working. Right. It doesn't make sense, but it works.
It's so crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy that Me and Cruel Summer are on the same album, and Me was made a single. And it was the fans, and it was like the culture that made Cruel Summer so popular that she had no choice but to release it as a single 5 years later.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, like seriously, those singles are
insane.
Painful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the single from TTPD?
Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
I know you don't like Fortnite. I do.
But not on the way that I feel about like You Need to
the
Calm
other.
Down.
Yeah. It's just like, it's a good song on the album, not the best.
Yeah. And because it's the first one, I can just start by playing the second one.
Yeah.
Which I like better.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's your little tailored update. And she's done at Wembley.
2 months, she's gotten a break, and then she comes back. We're going in October. We literally have tickets. So she is, and it's perfect timing because football season's about to start. She's probably in Kansas City right now.
Like home with Travis.
He's been like, it's been a couple of months of, they really complement each other very well. Their schedules, not on purpose because she planned the tour before they even met, but it's like there are weeks and months where it's like all about Travis. And then there are weeks and months where it's all about Taylor, and they really show up for one another in such a public way. It's so sweet. Now it's Travis's time. And then she'll be back in the States, and it's like not that big of a deal if he has a show. I mean, if she has a show in the States and then he has a game the next day.
And just a reminder to like all celebrity couples, like if these two are, as long as these two are still dating, like I never want to see a statement of scheduling conflicts as a reason for a breakup.
It's so true. Lady Gaga and Taylor Kinney.
Yeah. Everyone. They always, like,
it's always the go-to. And these two are out here like proving it can be done.
Right. So like we will not be accepting that.
It's true. Like they are both at the top of their game. They do so much, not even just for football, like for their things. They do award ceremonies. He's on a TV show. Like if they can make it work.
Yep. It's just not a legitimate excuse.
They would.
Are you ready for our next story? A little Dancing with the Stars news because the first celeb contestant of Dancing with the Stars has been announced, and it's Pommel Horse Steven from the Olympics.
PHS. Pommel Horse Steven.
Olympic gymnast Steven Nedoroscik. Pommel Horse Steven is heading to the ballroom.
I like how we gave him a nickname because it's hard.
PMS.
PHS.
Fresh off his historic Pommel Horse performance at the 2024 Paris Olympics, he will now be competing on season 33 of Dancing with the Stars. He was on GMA making a live in studio appearance, and he is the first contestant who has been revealed for the forthcoming season. The rest of them will be announced September 4th on GMA, but he's also the first male gymnast to compete on Dancing with the Stars. We've had plenty of female gymnasts, Suni Lee, Simone Biles,
Lori
and
Hernandez.
Lori Hernandez. But now this is the first male gymnast.
Love this. Like this is how you do it, right? Like you see what's going on in the culture, and you like. I feel like Dancing with the Stars always does a really good job. They get a wide berth of people, right? Like TV show stars who we don't know, but your parents might, and then Charli D'Amelio. Like they really cover all sports, entertainment, and they do a good job. This is excellent, and like capitalizing on the Olympics. I'm happy for him. Male gymnasts don't get like sponsorship,
The shine.
They're not really. I think it must be hard to make a living, honestly, as a male gymnast. And when you compare to like the women who are seriously like billionaires.
Yeah. Can I ask a stupid question? Are male gymnasts athletically like much like better? If like a male gymnast competed against a female gymnast, like they're doing crazier stuff, right?
I don't know about that.
Like, because the way it feels is like no one's better than the female gymnast, but like.
Well, I think it's just like, biology. Yeah, I don't know.
They're capable of more.
I think that they are definitely on the same level, maybe a little bit, but nobody cares. So it's like.
I think it's a pretty dumb question now that I think about it, but it's just why is it so much more fun to watch the girls?
Because like twirling is for the girls.
Even though like technically like throwing flips, like they're throwing greater tricks.
Okay, I had another question to ask, and like it's a little not PC, so like I apologize, but just know like I love everyone, and I just had a question. Okay,
that's how all
great cancellations begin.
I love everyone, and
I do know. I am like I love everyone, and I'm not like this is not. I just have a question, like because there is something like like gymnastics is girly, right? And so there are certain sports where if like a man is competing, like he's totally gay, right?
Okay.
It's gymnastics. Like, are male gymnasts all gay? I feel like no. And if you watch it, like, especially those rings, like, you would think, like, male gymnastics, what are they, like, twirling with ribbons in their hair? Like, no, it's actually very masculine.
Right, and very physical.
Are male gymnasts gay? Like, no, because the one I was watching, like, he has a girlfriend.
Yeah, Pommel Horse Steve has a girlfriend. Right. I don't get that vibe.
No, me neither.
Like,
but, like, if you're, like, figure skating.
It's like dancing, but it's not.
Right.
I feel you.
Okay, so male gymnasts like are.
It's not like,
and of course it's not. You know,
can
making
have
generalizations.
a gay male gymnast, but it's not like an automatically gay thing to do.
Right. But I think that like figure skating is like more often than not, like you can assume that they're gay.
I've never thought about it. I would say figure skating more than gymnastics.
Rhythmic gymnastics.
But not like 100%.
No, there's no 100% anything, like there are gay basketball players, but like there's more like majority, I mean. Yeah, I'm talking majority.
Yeah, majority.
And I'm sorry, like please, I just had a question.
I don't know if anyone's really like come out with the numbers on this.
Well, that's a study I would be interested in reading. It's the same way like, a majority of, I'm just really digging myself in a hole here. A majority of like, softball players or female softball players are lesbian, right?
Is it a majority or it's just like
A stereotype.
a vibe?
No, I think it's like a stereotype that I'm like seriously perpetuating.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm just curious. Like, what is the vibe, you know?
Yeah. What is the vibe?
I
Come
think-
out with the studies. So
I think
that we can
there are sports that are real 50-50, like women's soccer. I feel like they're really half straight, half gay.
come out with the studies so that we can speak factually on the matter. You know?
Instead of just like making
We're just-
sweeping generalizations.
Yeah, we're just suffering from like a lack of
information,
of knowledge
Yep.
on the matter.
Thank you.
We're
And
suffering.
Thank you, and I'm sorry. I just was thinking it with gymnastics because it was the first year that I ever really watched it. And of course, I'm like, oh, that's gay. Of course, you know? And then I watched it. I was like, actually, maybe it's not. I don't know. And
Yeah.
I'm being like really, maybe we'll cut this out.
No, I feel like we're being earnest.
I'm asking in earnest. I really am. And you guys know, like, I love everyone.
Except
I really
for
do.
losers on Catfish.
Except for losers who catfish. Like, seriously. Equality for everyone except for them.
Totally. Are you ready for our next story?
Yeah.
Some more.
And I'm sorry.
Okay. We know.
Yeah, you guys know my heart.
We know
Like,
your heart. That's
that's why sometimes I'm really actually like not afraid to say stuff because like you guys know my heart. Like I'm actually like a really good person and I really do. I love everyone and I don't think bad of anyone. Like I really don't unless like I said you've catfished someone and you're a loser, or you're Tarek and you went on a hike. So that's why I do feel comfortable asking these things because I feel like everybody
we know
knows
your heart.
You do.
That's its intention is so important.
I never ever come from a bad place
It's
except
so-
when I do. But you'll know when I do.
but what we're saying is in that moment you weren't.
No, I was genuinely asking.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a dumb question.
Thank you. Like seriously, thank you.
Never stop asking why. Never stop asking how many male gymnasts
Are gay.
Our next story, switching gears, some Bravo drama.
Oh.
Brandi Glanville gave an interview to the U.S. Sun and told them that she felt pressured by Andy Cohen to get together with Southern Charm star Austen Kroll. So
What?
Brandi Glanville alleged in a new bombshell interview that Andy Cohen made her feel like a sex worker whom he was pimping out. These are her words. Quote, sex worker, quote, pimping out to other Bravo celebrities and crew members, including Austen Kroll. So she told the U.S. Sun on Wednesday, quote, I think that Andy wants me to take over and conquest the people that he can't because they're straight.
Ooh.
She said, quote, so I'm like his little sex worker and I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm a mom of two. I've been in 2 long-term relationships my entire life. I'm not what he's made me into in his head. She provided the outlet with copies of text messages and emails in which she engaged with Andy in conversation about potential new suitors and ex-hookups. She said, I've been dealing with very sexually explicit texts and emails for over a decade, and none of them were jokes. I had to act like I wasn't bothered by it, because what if I said, you're disgusting? You think I would ever work again? Or fuck off? No, I would be dead in the water. One of the text exchanges reportedly took place shortly after BravoCon, and he allegedly wrote to her at the time, quote, kind of hoping you and my stage manager hooked up. She replied, I think he wants you, which made him burst out laughing. The following day, Andy allegedly told Brandi, quote, I really wanted you and Austen to get together. He had his eyes on you. Brandi did not dismiss the comment at the time and instead acknowledged, he's already DM'd me like 4 times. Shep too, but Austen had his girl with him. I'm going to
okay.
She said, I'm going to Charleston for sure. And I don't even like blondes. We need more male options.
LOL.
And he actually did talk about an interaction with Brandi at BravoCon, but didn't go into detail. So like this does seem
Yeah, no, I don't
congruous.
think she's lying.
Yeah.
The thing is like with the Brandi, because this is an ongoing saga, right? There was that video with Kate Chastain that I actually, Brandi Glanville's in the news because that video like makes its way to me again. Like, and she's making waves talking about it. I feel so torn because I could see these conversations like being inappropriate, right? Like Andy is her boss, but I also look at it as this like kind of, fun, loud, older woman and, sassy gay. And you see those conversations being totally fine, right? Yeah. So it's like, it's her truth and his truth, right?
Yeah. But
the dynamic is
it is a work dynamic. Like
he is the boss.
People have been fired for less because like that is the relationship. It's not like they even knew each other before they started working together. Like the power dynamic has always been like he's the executive producer and like she's a cast member and she is, even though, I think his role has changed over time and at times like he's
the honcho.
So you don't want to piss him off. And she talked about that. She said, your boss should never talk to you that way. We are not friends. We do not hang out outside of work ever. And we were at a work event. She said, I felt this tremendous amount of pressure to please him, but that was too far. I'm not going to sleep with someone. He literally thought I would do it. That's the disgusting part.
And so interesting.
Also, then, Andy's side of it, even though I don't think he's responding to this, but in general, they say that like when the text occurred, he's also talent on Bravo and has not worked as a executive in a decade. He is, however, an executive producer for several of the Housewives show, but he does not have hiring or firing power. However, this just reminds me of something else because a few weeks ago, Andy had said like they're totally overhauling Real Housewives of New Jersey. And it's like, so are you the guy who makes these decisions or are you not?
It's true. Like anytime there's a casting update or a casting drama, like he goes on his radio show and speaks on it.
And then other times when Housewives want their job back, he's like, I'm not in charge of this. Wrong department.
It's so
like,
true.
I really think for like his PR, because all of this has been a mess. He's in a lot of like little skirmishes like this. They need to really choose a lane. And if the lane is like, Andy doesn't have these decisions, he is now talent, he's just like you guys, then he should not be going on his radio show and saying like, New Jersey, we are doing this. We think this is best.
You know, it's so interesting because I feel like for many, many years, Andy really maintained a level of distance from the Housewives. And that's why it was so complicated when he like cast Carol Radziwill, because that was somebody from his personal life. He always, and I remember reading this in his books and he said it on the show, like he was very, very particular. He never followed any of the ladies on Instagram because once you follow one, you have to follow all. And he really drew a line in the sand of like a level of professionalism. And then he got this like new deal where he like really wasn't involved in casting anymore. And I think he like let up a little bit. And then they had his baby shower, which obviously like that was quote unquote inappropriate behavior with your boss, right? You're shaking your ass on a table and drinking. And so I feel like there was a shift when Andy took on this new role where he at one point was like an employee of Bravo. Then he got this big deal where his production company, and he's like an employee now of his production company and he's considered talent just like Brandi, right? And so I think his behavior really shifted and he got more comfortable saying things like this and going out drinking and following people on Instagram and taking pictures. But I think it really worked out for him when he had that really strict sort of line in the sand where he didn't engage, no fraternization. And you were like, why not? It's like, you're all friends, you're all celebrities. But it was better because then things like this didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And I understand Brandi's perspective because on the one hand, like she's been treated this way by Andy, as he said, like pimps her out. That's her words. For all these years. And then like she got fired and everything for acting in the way that Andy's encouraged her to act.
It's confusing. So
I understand why she's mad and confused.
Yeah. And did that show ever air?
I have no idea.
I actually think they just aired it. Like it was Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco, which had so much potential because Morocco is like a part of New York City housewife history. They brought in Alex McCord, Caroline Manzo. Like it was really supposed to be incredible. And then this whole thing happened between her and Caroline. And I don't know if they even aired it. And if they did, they had to cut out so much legally that like, I don't know if it was even worth watching.
Yeah.
It was like, it just turned into a flop.
Yeah.
But when it was announced, oh my God, like people were not okay.
Yeah.
And Alex McCord coming out of retirement. It was years ago. Like at some point people stopped caring.
Yeah. But it seems as though Andy's sailing through all of these different things that are going on. And I'm sure like he'll continue to, because if there was like people are suing, but if there was
that big New Yorker article. Yeah. What was it? Where they had Housewives speaking on record.
There's like plenty of Housewives, but none of it really has legs. So I don't know if he will like change what he's doing, but I imagine it's like he's not enjoying this either.
Yeah, right.
So,
or it was the Hollywood Reporter where he was on the cover.
There's been a couple of those sorts of things.
Yeah. And he talked about it very briefly.
Yeah.
Like I can't, once you're involved in like a legal drama, obviously it sucks, but you always have a line where you're like, I can't talk about it. It's legal drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Legalese.
Are you ready for our next story?
Yeah.
A little movie making news because Lionsgate has just pulled the trailer for their new Francis Ford Coppola movie and issued an apology saying we screwed up because they fabricated quotes from famous film critics in the trailer. You know how every movie trailer is like, so-and-so says it's this and that. So Lionsgate is immediately recalling their trailer for Megalopolis. It's the new Francis Ford Coppola movie. How do you pronounce that?
Megalopolis.
Megalopolis, a spokesperson said in a statement to Variety. We offer our sincere apologies.
Is Francis Ford Coppola dead?
I guess not.
This is such a weird story.
Yeah. They offer their apologies to critics involved and to Francis Ford Coppola and American Zoetrope for this inexcusable error in our vetting process. We screwed up and we are sorry. So the trailer released on Wednesday morning aimed to position his latest film as a work of art that would withstand the test of time, much like his other masterpieces like The Godfather and Apocalypse Now. The video included several quotes from critics panning his previous work, but none of the phrases attributed to the likes of Roger Ebert, Ebert and Roper, and Pauline Kael could be found in any of their reviews. So they just like made up.
By the way, I don't know why like everyone's freaking out and they had to pull this all the time. Like
all the time.
Every trailer for everything ever made, not even just movies, it'll be like incredible film, ... end quote, People magazine. And then if you ever were to read it, the critic from People magazine, incredible film, but lacked depth.
No,
like,
or it's like, this sought out to be an incredible film, or like,
Yeah.
personally, I
they
like
need-
to watch an incredible film.
Incredible film, ...
No,
Like,
it's so misleading. What's most shocking to me about this story is that someone actually took the time to go and look at the old reviews that they had written about older Francis Ford Coppola movies, only to find that they did not say those things that they said.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like those trailers and those quotes are so misleading.
no, it's just like a thing now. Like every trailer has like a fake quote. And you know what they've really started to do? At first it was like, okay, they would put quotes in trailers from like reputable publications, right? Then they started like including people from social media, you know?
Yeah.
And then you go to the person's Twitter profile and it's like an employee of Lionsgate. Like it's literally fake. And so
Yeah.
why this is like becoming a scandal, like who cares?
I guess because they're talking about like historic movies. I don't know. It seems very like highbrow, and the critics, like they've had enough of
Yeah.
people using their name in vain, and they don't like this. And I feel like as a critic, I mean, it's probably their job to also take a lot of criticism while giving it. And so they'll only take the true ones.
There's really only one critic whose opinion matters to me, and it's Sandy Kenyon with the Eyewitness News Movie Minute.
I wonder what he thought about this movie.
The thing is, Sandy Kenyon and I have never disagreed.
Is that true?
No, honestly, like he has some of the worst fucking taste in
I
movies.
feel like he really
He's
is
like a snob.
an industry plant too.
Yeah.
It's like the network says this, like we've invested in this movie, like Sandy said, it's good. And like,
It's true.
He's not pushing back.
Okay, so Sandy, I'm so glad you brought that up,
And so
actually.
in that, I actually think he's very scrupled in just being like a corporate man.
You know, he has a job. And he's going to get the job
and he's
done.
going to keep his job.
But so Sandy Kenyon, yes, he's on ABC, the Eyewitness News Movie Minute. And ABC is obviously owned by Disney. And so Disney, it's this huge conglomerate. They have production studios. And so they sometimes will like review a movie that was like produced and paid for by Disney. And he has a little disclaimer at the end where he's like, and you know, Transformers is a MGM production, which is owned by Disney, our parent company. I just made all that up, but you know, same vibe. And he's basically winking to the audience because he cares about his authenticity, winking being like, this is a paid promo.
It's like, even though I know he's being paid to say the things that he says, and he's not really even saying anything. Like, has he ever even slammed a film? Like, no.
Well, that's the thing. Sandy Kenyon just sort of radiates positivity.
Right. It's like, even though I know that he's being paid to say just nonsense, like I trust him.
I also believe Sandy Kenyon is a regional actor. Like I don't think, you know, our global fan base will know who he is. And so for that, I apologize because that sucks. That must be really hard to not know Sandy Kenyon with the Eyewitness News Movie Minute.
He is like, he's our local
He's a
movie
national
critic.
treasure,
And
a regional treasure.
Where he really rose to fame is on Taxi TV, because in New York City taxi cabs, in the early 2000s, they added TVs to the back.
Guys, it was a cultural reset.
It was a cultural shift, 1000%.
And then sometimes you would get like an older cab that didn't. Now every single cab has a TV. But while they were rolling them out, sometimes you would get one that has it and one that doesn't.
Yeah. And so they would all play the same things, and different companies would buy spots. I remember I learned that like in the beginning of, it was from Talk Stoop. Remember Talk Stoop?
Oh my God. There were so many little like mini TV shows that would
like
play on
only
repeat.
Existed. That's like, you guys know, we quote it all the time.
Sade Better Inwa.
No, and that Lion King truck. It is time.
Hey, you in the backseat of the taxi.
No, it is time.
Papama.
It was an ad for the Lion King. So these things would run like constantly, and there was
On
only a
loop.
handful of them, and they just became like cultural fixtures in New York City life.
Talk
And-
Soup is on television, by the way.
But it started on Taxi TV, and when someone met
Jackie.
with her, who hosts it?
Sarah.
Yeah, and she said like when they started on Taxi TV, like no, they couldn't, like you couldn't, no one was buying ads. Like it was so easy, they couldn't get
Lowbrow.
arrested, and now it's like, it's iconic.
No, and not to make everything about us, but it was kind of really major for us because one of the classic one of the classic Taxi TV news reporters was a gorgeous bald-headed man.
David Oshry.
Named David Oshry, spelled Ushry. Literally our brother, like David Oshry. I love him. I hope he's doing well. Taxi TV, like seriously means the world to me.
Yeah.
And it's still on, but it's not the same. And now like anyone can buy Taxi TV,
Yeah.
and it's like kind of like lowbrow.
It is. They do like a lot of NBC First Look, like they
Not the same.
repackage that content that plays after SNL, where they go try
Sometimes-
like different food.
Sometimes they have Jeopardy, and that I like.
Oh yeah. I always turn off my Taxi TV now because of my motion sickness. I can't be watching TV in the backseat. What am I, a toddler?
With the new congestion tax, I actually don't really take taxis anymore.
It's sick how they've put those medallions out of business.
1,000%.
You know
Don't
what
get
it
us
costs
started.
to get a medallion now? It's impossible.
Don't get us
It's
started.
impossible to work. Anyways, We'll have to find out what Sandy Kenyon thought about
The Francis Ford Coppola.
Megalopolis.
What a strange story.
And it seems as though Adam Driver's in the movie.
He would be.
Lots of movies coming out, don't you find?
No. I feel like it's like the same like sort of level of release.
I don't know. I drove past a marquee the other day and there was like a lot of stuff and I had heard of a lot of them too.
Right. I think what you're confusing, I don't think there's more movies. I think there's like just happens to be a time right now where like a lot of movies that you are interested in and like have heard
Fanfare
of.
for movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Are you ready for our fifth and final story?
If it's the fifth and final story, that's brought to you by State Farm.
It is.
Thank you, State Farm, for sponsoring today's episode. When you get a new car, a new home, the first thing you might find yourself saying is, wow, or how is this real? But really the words you might be thinking or singing are, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. So State Farm is there with the coverage you need for your car, your home, even boats, motorcycles, RVs, and other things that matter to you. With a State Farm agent, you know someone is there to help you choose the coverage that you need. With so many coverage options, it feels good knowing that you can find what fits for you. And what you need. When you need ways to get help, State Farm gives you options there too. So maybe you're like me, you're a technology swirly who loves to do everything on their phone. With State Farm, you can get help on statefarm.com or on their award-winning app. Perhaps you're like Jax and you like to handle things in person or on the phone with a local agent. Well, that's what we love about State Farm. No matter what kind of toaster you are, State Farm lets you do things your way. So when you need help protecting the things that matter most to you, remember to sing it like Jax and Claude do.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Sometimes I'm feeling like dubstep, you know, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm is there.
Yeah. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Sometimes I do like a little more bluegrass, like, you know, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And then, of course, I like to do my OG, like very soulful. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. So kind of make it your own, if you will. Yeah. Today's episode is also brought to you by Nordic Naturals. Late summer can be stressful, you know, kids heading back to school, everyone in the family adjusting to new routines. Well, getting enough of the right nutrients can help you stay healthy during the busyness. Omega-3s are healthy fats that benefit physical and mental well-being, and unfortunately, up to 80% of Americans do not get enough omega-3s in their diets. A daily fish oil supplement is the most reliable source of omega-3s and can benefit brain and heart health, immune function, and so much more. In fact, omega-3s influence the function of nearly every cell in your body, making them truly foundational nutrients. Nordic Naturals is known for their long-standing commitment to omega-3s, and they are the #1 selling fish oil brand in the United States. The Ultimate Omega is incredibly fresh and pure fish oil with no fishy aftertaste. It's sold in soft gels, liquid, and tasty gummy chews with 0 grams of sugar. Ultimate Omega is also made to pair perfectly with non-fish oil supplements like Nordic Naturals women's multivitamin gummies. These tasty gummies help fill common nutritional gaps in women's diets with a mix of 12 essential vitamins. Women's multivitamin gummies benefit skin, hair health, bone health, energy, and immune system function. Nordic Naturals has supplements for the whole family. Visit www.nordic.com and use our promo code TOAST for 20% off your next order of omega-3s, vitamins, and supplements. That's www.nordic.com. Our promo code is TOAST. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Today's episode is also brought to you by Seed, a classic. So whether you're off to the pool, hiking, or traveling this summer, you're bringing your microbiome with you. That's 38 trillion bacteria that live in and on you, especially your gut, and they are essential to your whole body health. Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic benefits your gut, skin, and heart health in just 2 capsules a day. Your body is an ecosystem. And great whole body health starts in the gut. Your gut is a central hub for various pathways through the body, and a healthy gut microbiome means benefits for digestion, skin health, heart health, and your immune system, plus so much more. So Seed is what you need when you need it. Their patented capsule and capsule design means that all 24 strains of bacteria survive the journey without synthetic or chemical coatings. It's backed by science, lots of science. So with clinical trials and breakthrough research published in top scientific journals, Seed's probiotic research and development makes DSO1 a product you know you can trust. So support your gut this summer with Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic. If you go to seed.com/toast and use our code 25toast, you'll get 25% off your first month. That's 25% off your first month of Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic. That's seed.com/toast. When you use code TOAST, and the great thing about Seed is that if you need a refill, it's already on the way. The probiotics and prebiotics work best when they are used consistently, like other routine healthy habits, like getting in your daily walk, eating fruits and veggies. You have to stay consistent. So Seed's subscription service easily helps you build that DSO1 into your routine. So make sure to head to seed.com/toast and use our code 25toast to get 25% off your first month so you can support your gut this summer with Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic. Seed.com/toast. Our code is 25toast.
Thank you, Turt.
You're welcome, Bert.
25 Turt.
Yep.
Our fifth and final story, Megan Thee Stallion is set to host the MTV Video Music Awards. Megan Thee Stallion will take on hosting duties at an awards show for the first time as she takes the lead role at the 2024 MTV Video Music Awards, the network announced on Thursday. She has previously hosted SNL and co-hosted The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. She herself is up for 5 awards during the VMAs.
I wonder how many she'll win.
How many do you think she'll win? 5 for 5?
No, they can't be so obvious. She'll go 4 for 5. And then she'll make history. Like I want to say,
history
I think
or herstory?
Herstory. I think Megan Thee Stallion is like one of those great celebrities who has a ton of personality and like can be tapped for things like this. And I think it all like overall improves her brand. And then she obviously gets the awards because she's, the host, and that's great too. But I like that actually MTV like never taps like the Jimmys, right?
Yeah.
But having people like the Jimmys who are not eligible for any awards, it does give like a sort of like a leveled playing field. Whereas like if you're up against Megan Thee Stallion in a category and she's
hosting,
like, I wonder who's going to win.
You're probably not going to win. Yeah. And it also just begs the question, like, why does she want to do this? Like she would be going to the award show anyway. It's like hosting is a whole job
thankless job
of itself. I think when you're hosting something as fun as the VMAs and you're so like loved as Megan Thee Stallion, I don't think there's anything that she's going to do that like
is risky.
Yeah. So I think it'll all be good, but like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of prep. Like, why would you even want to? I don't know.
No, a thankless job. I can't imagine somebody at her level wanting to do this.
Yeah, because you get to go to you're going anyway. Just sit and enjoy.
I think either you get paid a lot because it's like a Paramount production, or, and this is like what we're always saying about Taylor Swift, like going to these random award shows that she seems to be like too good for, like the Teen Choice Awards. But as a part of like getting to this level of legacy artist, like you want to be the most awarded whatever. And these awards do count. And so Megan Thee Stallion maybe would have won a bunch, but like now as the host, like you definitely get. And so when you want to get to a level, like, and she's at a high level, but she's on the up, right? She wants to get to, and you want to be the most awarded female rapper of all time. And so doing things like this is like it's a part of the music industry that like I don't understand. Like kind of how we were talking about how Taylor releasing these pop. It's like this old storied way of doing business that I don't understand, but that works.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's how I would explain it, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think she'll be good as far as, who they could get that's an artist that also has personality. She's bursting with it. So I think she'll be really good.
Oh my God. I saw a video of Lizzo and I literally forgot about her. Like, I think that her like scandal like really affected her business. And I just saw a video of it was actually her sharing, she's like been in the gym, she's like lost a significant amount of weight, and of course like that became like huge news for everyone because like Lizzo's the face of that movement, and she's like making changes, and I'm not going to comment that's great for her or not, like but it really put into perspective because I realized I'm like, I haven't seen a video of Lizzo like, or even like a mention of Lizzo in so long. Like I think that lawsuit had a real effect on her business, but I think she also took a step back because of because of it. Like she was going, she couldn't do anything without people talking about it.
Yeah. Well, no, it was really bananas, like what was alleged.
It was bananas.
And it was so incongruous with who she is. Like seriously, it was really bad, and the lawsuit will have to play out. But I think on the one hand, if she ignored it and kept working, like I don't know how that would have gone for her, but her taking a backseat and being quiet, it's the dominant story about her. It's the last thing we said about Lizzo, and it's the only thing that we really remember right now. But yeah, it's not good.
No.
And the opposite, and like we said, the opposite of who she says to be, that's when it's really bad, especially when so much of her brand is like about being authentic and relatable and loving everyone. And it's like, you're none of those things.
Yeah.
None of them.
Well, I just was like had actually forgotten about her. It's so crazy how you can like come into the public sphere and like be everywhere all at once. And then it happens so quickly, and it happens so like, I didn't even realize she was kind of being like phased out of culture.
Yeah. But I also feel like, and it makes sense that that's why some of these pop stars like don't stop working. Like when we used to say Ariana Grande, take a nap. And I feel like she was worried about being phased out of culture. Like she, in hindsight, wasn't wrong. That didn't happen to her because I do think she's at a level where she can come and go as she pleases.
Now she is.
But like, it really reminds me of Camila Cabello, because there was a time when like
Havana,
you couldn't
Unana.
walk down the street without hearing one of her songs. And now that's not the case.
No, now she's just like everyone else. She's like a singer.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like she's kind of, whenever she comes back, as you said, she's coming back. Like, I feel like she's going to have to claw her way again.
Yes. It's crazy how you can be at the Havana level. And then not.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really excited to talk about Love is Blind.
Oh, yes. And we're starting with Freddie and Catherine, okay?
Of course. We'll go couple by couple. So
after Freddie and Catherine.
Freddie and Catherine, spoiler alert, the spoilers begin now.
Love is Blind UK. Everyone else who hasn't watched yet, go watch. And if not, have a great day. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow. So for our final show before
the summer. So Freddie and Catherine didn't get married. She said yes. He said no. And I think we all hoped that was going to be the case. The only thing that kind of threw a wrench in my experience was him sending her the earrings, which is super
with a
thoughtful.
really sweet note, like, we're in this together. But I guess it's congruous with the fact that he wanted to still date her after the fact.
Or
like,
yes,
I'm here.
Or maybe he really didn't know up until that moment. So if he did say yes, he's like, well, I want to treat my bride special on her wedding day. I was overjoyed. I got really upset watching. Like, I actually got really emotional.
We were crying.
We were hysterically crying because it was this very sweet moment where his older brother, who was like nonverbal Down syndrome, walked him down the aisle, which was so sweet. And right before they walked down the aisle, his brother, who really hasn't said much during his time on air, just sort of nestled his head in Freddie's bosom, if you will.
In the crook of his arm.
And looked up and he said, Freddie. And he hasn't spoken much. And Freddie was looking in his eyes. It was one of the most tender moments I've ever seen. I could literally start crying talking about it. It was one of the most beautiful things I'd ever seen in my life. And just knowing that there was this girl at the end of the aisle who doesn't care about his brother. I don't think she cares. She's so materialistic and she has done everything she can to hide that side of her. But when you got to know her friends, you really got to see who she hangs out with. And I keep going back to thinking what Ollie said about her. I thought Ollie was so judgmental. I'm like, oh man, you're gonna pass on this girl because of this type of club she goes to. And I don't understand British culture, but he must have understood something about the type of girls who go there. Because I think he clocked her so accurately. And it really was making me sick because Freddie is this pure of heart. They don't make men like Freddie anymore. They don't make human beings like Freddie anymore. He is so pure. He's so loving. Whatever Catherine looked like, he would have loved her till the day she died. And I don't think that she was there for the right reasons. I think if she said yes, it was because he was very good looking and that he had a very steady job. And this is a person who lives at home with her parents. She
was just happy to have somewhere new to live.
Yeah, she's very judgmental and she's very materialistic for somebody who lives at home. You're almost 30 and you don't even have your own apartment. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the more I learned about her, and I think it took me a really long time to get to the place where last night, I hated her.
Yeah, no, when we first started watching, I loved Freddie and Catherine.
Obsessed.
I loved them as a couple. I thought they were so sweet. I was so happy when they found each other in those first few days in Greece when they were so happy together. I was like, this is so beautiful. But the way she would pick on him, start fights with him, ask him a question, and no matter how he answered it, it was the wrong answer. And even when he tried to answer it, oh, so you want me to say this? Let me say that. She's mad about that too. Just really making his life unhappy. You could see his light dimming throughout the show. Because when they went shopping together, that was such a painful scene. He's trying to joke and have just fun. Have fun and pick out funny things. And she's so irritated by him. And so he's just oh, I won't do that anymore. And he's just making himself smaller for her, this wench, when he is perfect, absolutely perfect the way that he is. By the time that they got married, I was this woman is empty inside. She has she's not even just surface, there's not even the surface layer. She has no depth. She has no just deep, love in her heart. When she was with her family. And
oh my God, the way she treats her parents.
The way she treats her parents. But when she was in the bridal suite with her family and friends, talking about if Freddie's going to say yes or not, I felt I was watching a grift. I felt I was watching an episode of American Greed.
Yep.
And are we going to swindle this big funeral owner or not?
Yep.
It felt like a Lifetime movie. And
by the way, I want to say her parents are lovely.
Lovely.
They love her so much. And I think they know that she's kind of she's so vapid.
Bad seed.
Yeah. And I know she was upset when, and so she's allowed to lash out, but her parents were so lovely. And even before, so she didn't know Freddie was going to say no. Her dad's walking down the aisle and, they always show the bride with the person who's walking them down the aisle. And there's a sweet moment and her dad is saying these lovely things to her. She doesn't even respond. I think she's awful. I hate her.
No,
and I was feeling so mad watching, and especially that scene with the brother. It really was just emblematic of the type of person Freddie is.
And it's whoever Freddie marries, has to be as committed to taking care of his brother for the rest of his life as
and that's what the prenup conversation
Freddie
was about.
Is, because if something happens to Freddie, that person needs to step into that role. And there's not a woman on the show who would have been a worse candidate for that.
1,000%. And calling it now my queenie of the week is his fucking sister, who saw from the moment they sat down on that couch.
Betsy Dora. Dora.
What's her name?
Betsy Dora. Betsy Dora.
She is a precious angel, Dora.
Yeah.
She knew from the moment, and you know what? She was brave to say something. And Freddie said, you know, what my sister said, like, influenced me, but I knew.
Yeah.
Queen. Only wishing the best for Betsy Dora.
And so when he finally said no, like the relief.
The cheers in the room. The crowds went wild.
Oh my God. The relief that we felt. Like I felt like we just like staved off something really bad.
And, you know, seeing that he wants to still date her, he's just not ready to marry her yet. Like that's disappointing.
Fine. It's fine by me because I think he needs that time to be certain that she is not right for him. And like in time, everyone, you can only pretend for so long. So I do think she was playing down the more materialistic, but like, it's not even materialistic that's like a bad thing because, you know, we love material goods. It's a real lack of depth.
Yeah.
And caring and very like just selfish and vapid.
And I'm glad you brought up like pretending because I want to talk about Demi and Ollie next. And for me, like...
Oh, so wait, I just wanted to, if we're done wrapping up Freddie and Catherine, which I guess we are.
To me, like I have seen through Ollie this entire time, right? Because he's someone to me who... was really into Catherine when he saw her. He's very into physical looks. And when he was in Mexico, everyone was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, and he's like, nothing's wrong. Something was obviously wrong. So to me, he's a person who's been lying the whole time. And he almost got me because I'm like, damn, actually, will these two get married? But the fact that everybody had to be apart for 3 days before the wedding. And Demi comes in and says, I haven't spoken to him once. Like he was acting for the show. He didn't want to come off as a dick because he had a girl who wasn't his type. And he didn't want to break up with her. He was going to see this thing through. But, you know, he gets off for 3 days. He's not going to talk to this girl. Like,
yeah.
And so that's why she said no, by the way. I think that if he had continued playing with her and pretending throughout those 3 days, I think she would have said yes. I am so mad that they let her go first because I wanted to see, you're going to take this all the way?
He got off the hook.
Oh my God. Seriously. And then when she said no, he like looks at the priest like, what? Like being such an actor.
Yeah, but I feel like he might have also thought she was going to say yes because she was so in love with him and that he would say no. I think a part of him was like one relieved, but also his ego was bruised. It was weird.
But he got off scot-free because he was playing a part this entire time.
The entire time, like he really like fixed himself in Greece when like he was
he's like, people are on to me.
Yeah, and then I think also it got easier when they got home because she has wonderful family and friends, and he likes them, and he got along with them, and their lives were really
intertwining,
and that was nice. So they were able to like coast for a while and it wasn't as hard for him. But I do think, you know, to make the decision to spend your life with someone, like you're not going to do that just to be liked on television.
No, of course. And if he had taken it all the way and then been like, he could have explained it away, right? Like, listen, I want to keep seeing you.
But I'm not all the way there.
Yeah. I'm so mad that they didn't make him go first. Like seriously, he got away with murder.
Yeah, but then I guess they were also sparing Demi, one, like being turned down at the altar, and two, she got to take a little bit of her power back and turn him down after I feel like he wasn't the kindest to her the entire season. So for her confidence, I think that was really good that she got to be the one to say no.
Agreed 1,000%. She's so interesting because all the girls are very beautiful and they all are in full glam like the whole time. And Demi really committed to like, okay, this is a reality show. I'm going to be real. And there were a lot of scenes with her not wearing makeup. And to see her show up so glam, she looked insanely gorgeous at her wedding.
Insanely gorgeous.
God. And that's what happens when you're not always full glam. Like all the girls are always glam. So they're just like glam again. She looked so different, like, you know, like, and special. I thought she looked so beautiful and I was so happy for her. And I feel like this experience, while she didn't come out with a husband, and that was obviously the goal, she said at the end, and I really believed her. Like, I think this is one of the best things that ever happened to her. I think she like I said,
she like found herself a little bit.
She was going through something at the beginning of the show, like personally. And we were like watching that unfold and like we couldn't figure it out. And I think she came out on the other side. And I do think, and she said that this was such a positive experience, and I believe her. And I think she's probably really better off for having gone on the show, even though she didn't come out, you know, technically winning with a husband.
Yeah, but it kind of reminds me of camp a little bit. Like you're in a bunk with all these girls and they
lift you up.
And they lift you up and they show you new things and you learn from them and you're influenced by them. And I feel like this group of girls was also just like a great group that really helped her. Like the fact that her best friend in the house is Jasmine, who's so
Queenie.
Like, feminine and glamorous and like, you know, confident. Like I feel like that's so great for Demi. Energy. And she probably like learned so much and was uplifted by that. So I do think that's really great.
1,000%. Just like seriously hate Ollie and hate that he got away.
And yeah,
the order of who they were letting go first pissed me off, which is a good transition to Tom and Maria. I think we all knew Tom was going to say no. And we're going to talk about his reasonings because seriously, like I laughed. I actually giggled. I wanted to see what she would have said.
I know, me too.
Because I think she might have said yes.
I think she was going to say no because she didn't seem as upset as I thought she was going to be.
Correct.
She never in her confessionals afterwards was like, I thought we were getting married today. Like I was going to say yes. I felt like she might have said no, and I think that she should have said no. I feel like Tom was not kind to her, and his reasoning for saying no is not a reason.
Children with her who then get raised that if they're a boy, they have to pay for dates. Like you're worried about your hypothetical children's financial future in 30 years.
Right. You're worried about something 30 years from now and not more worried about like your immediate happiness. That makes no sense. People have differing values on stuff all the time. There are things that are absolute deal breakers, but something like that, I think that they could have like worked through it. Maybe you pay for this, I pay for that. Like just figuring things out. And also that's a conversation. That's a pod conversation. Sorry.
Yeah.
But like,
by the way, it's really what they were talking about when she was like, I want to take a few years off work once we have kids. Like those are moments I don't want to miss. And he was like, well, I want someone ambitious. Like he is like kind of a toxic feminist where it's like, oh, we're so equal. Like you have to do the same amount of work as me.
Babies, don't stop working, pay for everything.
Oh, and her work is not enough, right?
Woman.
Like he's judgmental about what she does for a living.
Yeah.
He sounds horrible. Like seriously, like no grace for her being a woman.
He is, but it's just frustrating because that's a conversation that should have ended their relationship in the pods. So then to take it all the way to then be broken up by something that should have been dealt with in the beginning, like is annoying. I also just think it's an excuse. I don't think that they were like so in love, but the way that we talk about their connection and their compatibility, I didn't see it all the time. I do think they had like fun together and they liked each other.
I think they had a great physical attraction. I think they had like amazing sex.
Yeah. But then you also have pod connection. So that does give you a level of emotional connectivity. And sometimes it's really those two things. Like we relate on an emotional level. We like each other physically. There are other life factors, but I didn't feel like it was the life factors because they blended really well into each other's lives.
I know. And I can't imagine like, at some point you're 40, like you can't be so particular, Tom. Like little things about like paying for dates, that's what's stopping you. That's the only issue.
I'm just saying, I don't think that's the only issue.
Of course
and we're not getting honesty. And I want honesty. I sat here for 10 episodes.
Agreed. I also want to say Maria's a queen. Like she was one of my favorites in terms of the women, her and Jasmine. And
you want to go to Jasmine now?
I just want to say, like, I don't know if she did her own makeup on her wedding. I kept wondering if they were going to bring that up. I think she did. She looked so insanely gorgeous. She was probably my favorite look, like really clean, classic, like hair pulled back, simple dress, no crazy jewels or anything. I thought she looked great. But yes, I want to talk about Jasmine.
Jasmine,
Obsessed.
my queen, obsessed. And actually,
they planted a little doubt.
They did, but it was a similar situation to Freddie. But like it was like with Freddie, his family was like telling him like, we don't know about this. And like he needed to listen to them. And for Jasmine, her mom was saying like, seriously, no. And she's listened to everything her mom has said her entire life. And she needed to not listen.
The crazy thing is, though, her mom didn't say anything unreasonable, right? She said, we don't really know this person, and I am not confident in his ability to provide for you. He has like kind of a murky job history and the music video, of course. And so those are valid concerns from a mom about, who your daughter's marrying. And you said this while we were watching, and you were so right. You were like, yeah, what she's saying is not wrong at all. But Jasmine's the type of woman who can make a man out of who she chooses. And she's very alpha. And that's a very, you need a particular type of man for that. And Bobby's so down to fit into her life. Like, however, he will do. You want me to go to work? You want me to, Jack, you were like, she'll send him to business school. She will.
Yeah, she will.
I have no concerns about him being able to provide for her.
The things that were concerns about Bobby are fixable.
Yep.
He doesn't not have ambition. He doesn't not want to do all these things for Jasmine. He loves her so much and he'll be an amazing husband to her. And those are the things that are not fixable. So him just like getting a new job, she could be on LinkedIn in 2 seconds, finding him interviews, getting him dressed, getting him briefed, out the door.
There are women like that and there are men like that. And there are like great men who have done great things because they always say like, you look at a powerful man, like there's a more powerful woman behind. And she's so that type of person. Yeah. You were so right about that. I love them together. I think they have a real love.
Yeah, the things that are great about their relationship are not things that you can fix about someone else. Like they are interconnected, they respect each other, they love each other, and they like each other. And he just needs a better job. She's going to make that happen.
I was so happy for them.
Yeah, me too. I was so hoping. I thought they would say yes. I'm glad that they said yes. The fact that they played his song at the end of their wedding.
Hilarious.
Like, I needed that moment of levity.
We were like, what is everyone singing?
The song has been weighing on me.
Yeah, I know.
And now, like, knowing it's like a funny thing in their family and their life, like that's great.
I saw a picture of the entire cast, like at the premiere, and I think a significant amount of time has passed since this was filmed because everybody looked really different. Jasmine is full black hair; she looked amazing.
Oh, great! how long were Sabrina's bangs? That's how you can tell the passage of time.
Yeah. Sabrina, I think, had the biggest like physical glow up on the show. From the girl we met in the pods to the girl who ended up getting married, she like really grew. She had like this maturity. Her bangs grew, but like overall, like she just looked so happy. They were like a no-brainer, right? We all knew they were going to say yes. They didn't even try to make us doubt. Like they were just like, they put them first.
It was like all love. They wanted to kick us off on a good note. Also for the UK, this is their first season. They want to show everyone like marriages happen.
Yep.
This can work. So they started with a love match.
I have no commentary. Like I'm so happy for them. They're really well suited. I do still have questions about his girlfriend with the tumor who broke up with him and then healed. Like, but for now, it's good.
Yeah. And I wish them well.
Nicole and Benaya were like the only couple who said yes, who I was not sure about.
Well, everyone like made me unsure. And also people have been commenting like on our episode being like, you guys like Benaya? Like he's so weird. Like,
no, he's definitely, it's just his hair.
No, but like they think Benaya's like red flags.
Oh no, I think he's really sweet. I think he's like a little nerdy. Maybe that's what's coming off. I think the way everybody around them talked about them, like this connection that they had, I just personally wasn't seeing it. So I was like, I think they're going to get married because the way everybody talks about them. But I don't see this great love match. And then she was acting kind of weird at the altar. Like she was acting kind of sad.
Like looking away. Like,
for him, he was like, of course I do. Yeah. Like they didn't even make us wait for him to say I do. I was like, okay, but she's going to break up with him. I was so not seeing what everyone was seeing. But they said yes. And, good for them.
Yeah. I was hoping that they would say yes too.
I just think of the three couples who got married, if any of them were to get divorced, like it's going to be them. Because of the way they got together.
And also because Jasmine and Bobby, I think, are so strong. And Sabrina and Steven, like, are ironclad. So by default, it would be them.
Yeah. But I think there's a reunion.
Something about her where, like, she just doesn't, like, know her own mind. Like, she keeps making, like, the wrong choice.
It's
like,
true.
I don't know if she doesn't trust her gut or her gut is off. But, like, that's a little weird.
It's so true.
But hopefully she's got it right this time and, like, they can just live their lives and enjoy.
I think there's a reunion, which makes me so happy. I need to see what everyone's up to. I need to know if Catherine and Freddie like did date. Are they still dating? Are they engaged? Like,
I need to know if he's called Molly May.
Yeah.
Or if Molly May has called him. That's what I need to know.
So all in all, like seriously obsessed.
Yeah. It was a really enjoyable ride.
And I want to say it's really better than US.
I think every season of US is different.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the next season of UK
would be terrible.
I don't need to compare. I go season by season. It's such a great show. There's nothing like a great season of Love is Blind.
It's true.
It's really, really fantastic.
Seriously, when I was doing the ad for gummy vitamins, I got like, I'm so hungry that it sounded delicious. We need to wrap up so I can eat. Like I'm running.
Okay, we're wrapping.
And I'm wrapping. I'm not even doing my thing. Like I need a sandwich to the face stat.
And I'm just going to let you know that I love ya. Bye.